For today's lesson, in understanding culture, society, and politics, we will talk about human origins. Where did we come from? Humans continue to search for the answer to this fundamental question. Over the years, we've turned to both religion and science to explain where our species came from. The question of where we humans come from is one of many people ask. And the answer is getting more complex as new proof is emerging all the time. For most of recorded history, humankind has been placed on a symbolic and sometimes literal platform. More so, the evolution of man became a significant concern in the emergence of different societies. Early man's growth serves as an avenue in analyzing the progress of our society. For 2 million years, man in the form of early hominid was a herd or tribal animal, primarily a herd herbivore. During the next 2 million years, the human was a tribal hunter or warrior. All of the human social drives urbanized long before he developed intellectually. They are, therefore, instinctive. Such instincts as mother love, compassion, cooperation, curiosity, inventiveness, and competitiveness are prehistoric and embedded in the human. Hence, man's development and character are essential in perceptive the capability for adaptation. Now, let's dig more about human origins. Examine this picture. What does it represent? Yes, evolution. How does it explain man's development? Very good. It is a common understanding that change is the only permanent thing in this world. Every living thing is dynamic and, as such, undergoes transformation, or we all say glow up. Likewise, man as the most important component in society goes through evolutionary changes that help him adapt to his environment. Just like you, as a student, you are adapting to our new environment. This is how the evolution of man begins. This is the Homo habilis, a species with a brain of a Broca's area, which is associated with a speech in modern humans and was the first to make stone tools. The ability to make and use tools is a unique quality to humans such that the species is recognized to be the first true human. The species name means handyman. Lived about 2.4 to 1.4 million years ago, scavenging for food. The Homo rudolfensis, a species characterized by a longer face, larger molar and premolar teeth. They have a larger brain case compared to habilis, particularly larger frontal lobes, areas of the brain that processes information. The species lived about 1.9 to 1.8 million years ago. While the Homo erectus, the species name means upright man, with body proportions similar to that of modern human, lived 1.89 to 143,000 years ago, adapted to hot climates, and mostly spread in Africa and Asia. They were the first hunters with improvised tools such as axes and knives, and were the first to introduce fire. Homo heidelbergensis. They are species with large brow ridge and short, wide bodies that lived about 700,000 to 200,000 years ago in Europe and Africa. They were the first early human species to live in a colder climates, first to hunt large animals on routine basis using spears, and first to construct human shelter. Homo floresiensis. The species nickname is hobbit due to its small stature with a height of more or less 3 feet and lived 95,000 to 17,000 years ago in the island of Flores, Indonesia, along with the dwarf animal species. And then we have the Homo sapiens. The species name means wise man that appeared from 200,000 years ago. The present human race belongs to this species. And the Homo sapiens neanderthalensis, species with short yet stocky in body, build adapted to winter climates, especially in icy cold places in Europe and Asia. The subspecies, also known as Neanderthal man, is the closest relative of modern humans, the first to practice burial of the dead, hunting and gathering of food, and sewing of clothes from animal skin using bone needles. They lived about 200,000 to 28,000 years ago. And lastly, the Homo sapiens sapiens, subspecies known as Cro-Magnon, characterized to be anatomically modern humans and live in the last ice age of Europe from 40,000 to 10,000 years ago. They were the first to produce art in cave paintings and crafting decorated tools and accessories. Let's move on in the man's cultural evolution. We have two ages here. We have the Paleolithic age and the Neolithic age. Okay, so what's the difference between the two? In Paleolithic age, roughly 2.5 million years ago to 10,000 BC, early humans lived in caves or simple huts or teepees and were hunters and gatherers. They used basic stone and bone tools as well as crude stone axes for hunting birds and wild animals for their food. While in Neolithic period, or also called the New Stone Age, is the final stage of cultural evolution or technological development among prehistoric humans. In this stage, humans were no longer dependent on hunting, fishing, and gathering wild plants, also called the Agricultural Revolution, marked the transition in human history from small, nomadic bands hunter-gatherers to larger agricultural settlements and early civilizations. Okay. Let's talk about now the characteristics of human society. The characteristics of human society is the recruitment of members from within. Okay, relatively large social system, territorial, of course, culture sharing, to promote diversity, sustain itself across generation. From generation to generation, we transfer our culture. And we have types of human society: the hunting and food gathering societies and the horticultural societies. These are the characteristics of hunting and food gathering societies. It is the earliest form of society. People survive by foraging for vegetable foods and small game, fishing, hunting larger wild animals, and collecting shellfish. They subsisted from day to day on whatever was available. They also used tools made of stones, woods, and bones, while the horticultural societies, they learned to use human muscle power and handheld tools to cultivate fields. And of course, they are into farming. They also involve producing enough food to feed the group, and settlements are small. Neighborhood is solid. They also have political organization, which is confined in the village. And of course, the authority is based on the positions inherited by males through kinship system and the surplus farming. I hope you learned a lot in this lesson. Thank you.